Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and today we're doing a houseplant update. And to be honest with you, these are my favorite videos to film because I think it's just so fun to go around and show all of the new things. It's one of the things that you do, like when your plant friends come over to your house, it's like the thing you do. So that's what this feels like for me. So I hope that you will also let me know about all of the new things happening in your homes in the comments down below. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Okay, so I generally spend a lot of time chit-chatting about the things happening in this room, so I won't spend all of my time in here, but I do just want to say that the pulley system looks incredible. I still haven't spread out the Spanish moss as of yet. It's been a couple days since I put it up and I just love it. It's so beautiful. I just love the way that it looks like right here. It's like cascading down onto my plant, and there was a couple people who said that like watching me hold it totally gave them the heebie-jeebies, because if you live somewhere where Spanish moss is, it's like actually super gross and like filled with bugs. But I'm gonna assume that this was grown in a greenhouse because I did not detect any bug activity. But just look at how big and beautiful my prayer plant is. I've always wanted a prayer plant that was really big. My friend Brie has a huge one and it has just been inspo. Like, I've been so jealous for years and I finally have one that is worthy of that, and I feel so confident that it's gonna be happy long term because it's getting water all the time. Down here, my huge Monstera hasn't put out a new leaf all winter, and I'm just very excited to get it outside again because I know it'll explode. It held onto its foliage pretty well through the winter time, so I'm glad that we will be hitting the ground running as of when it's time to put it out. I have been growing a little bit concerned though because the wind here is crazy. Like last fall when I put plants outside, they were seriously going through it. Like it literally looked like it was a freaking tornado in my yard on the patio. So I have had a couple of concerns about how they're gonna do because it's just so windy. So I've considered like making a wind barrier, but I don't want it to look bad. So I don't know. If you live in a windy place and you have houseplants outside that might get like tattered from the wind, let me know what your solution has been, and yeah, I'm curious. Okay, the rubber plant that I propagated, I don't know if it's rooted, but it lost a bunch of leaves. So now it looks silly again. Like it did look nice and full all through the bottom, and now it looks silly. It might be rooted because when I pull on it, there's like more resistance than not. So it could be rooted, but we'll see. All of these leaves look like they're like holding on pretty well, to be determined. My Florida Beauty has put out this new leaf. This was kind of cooking when I bought it, so nothing like entirely new in my care, but it looks really beautiful, and I'm just hoping that this one stays happy for a long time. This leaf broke at some point in transit, which was sad, but generally, like, this plant hasn't really given, I haven't thought about this plant a ton because it's just chilling, living its life. I recently showed an update on the Aglaonema in a video. Also just wanted to show it again here because it's so beautiful. And my Fittonia is still going strong. I kind of am wanting to do a big prune on it though, because it is looking a little bit leggy. I feel like I need to do an updated Fittonia care video because I was messaging with one of you on Instagram and they were watching my old Fittonia care video, and I was like, I don't know if that video is super good anymore. And I don't know, as we were chatting, I had like new things that I've done in the last couple of years that have made my Fittonia last longer. So let me know if I should redo that. I think I would do it like reaction style because that truly is like one of, I think that video was posted within the first year of my channel, so it's probably super cringe. The cactus, just as a general update, these are going to be going outside super soon. I could probably actually put them outside now, but I'm probably just in case, I'm gonna wait until after Easter. So that's just a couple weeks away. But yeah, they're doing great. They handled the winter super well in here. I haven't watered them at all. They're not receiving much light. It's a good thing because they haven't grown. Like, I don't want them to have nasty winter growth while they're in here. I'm fine with them not growing. I would rather them have like nice, thick growth that they get from being outside in the summer. So yeah, thankful for that. Every time I post the flowers from this Biltmore ball gown tree, I get so many questions about what this plant is. So it's a Biltmore ball gown tree. We have some blooms that actually happened and I didn't see, but this is what they look like after they're obviously out of their prime. So you can kind of imagine what they look like when they're in their prime. They're super beautiful. And this plant, as long as it's like pretty heavily pruned, it stays very, very nice. As you can see, this, well, I don't know if actually if you can tell, but there's a lot of new growth going on. Like these new leaves are super glossy, especially right here. There's a ton going on here. And like just for context, this plant is in the furthest corner in this room from a north window. So it's really not receiving much light at all, but she's growing and she is blooming. Like, that's gonna be a bloom right there. So anyway, she's doing amazing. It's Becca popping in to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to share about your business online, get the word out about what you're doing, and so much more. Squarespace has always made it really easy to design your website, and now it's even easier with their Blueprint AI, which is Squarespace's AI-enhanced website builder. It helps you get a fully customized website in just a few steps, basically just answering questions about your industry and the things you do. And then when it comes time to actually making sales and selling products, Squarespace makes it really easy to get paid. They have really awesome invoicing services. So if you happen to be like an independent contractor like myself who sends a lot of invoices, you can do it through Squarespace. One of the top things that people look at when they are checking the credibility of a business is if they have an online web presence. Social media and a website are just super, super important parts of that. So thank you so much to Squarespace for making it possible for me to have a professional website and, you know, look like I know what I'm doing. So if you are interested in also looking like you know what you're doing, you can head over to squarespace.com/BeccaDeLaPlants and use the code BeccaDeLaPlants to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. I have some Hoya that live in my kitchen windowsill and they are doing amazing. As you can see, there is some new growth. This is new. This is the newest new growth. It's super glossy and like nice green color. And yeah, there's just like a lot going on here. And this plant was one of those plants that stayed super stagnant for a very, very long time. And it also had, what are those little things called? Those little mites that Hoya get. Anyway, it had those and it was putting off like really knobby growth that ended up falling off anyway. And now it's recovered and it's doing really great. This plant was given to me by a coworker. It's actually a petunia that glows in the dark. And this is not a house plant by any means. I will be planting this outside when the time comes. And petunia and I don't really get along very well, but I am gonna try because the leaves glow in the dark. And not the leaves, the flowers. And the reason that it does that is because, oop, almost lost my camera. The reason that it does that is because it was crossbred with a mushroom that does glow in the dark, and somehow they were able to do that. So my coworker knew that I loved plants and was like, hey, do you want this? And I said, absolutely. I honestly cannot be trusted to remember any names of Hoya, but this is another one that is doing really well. This side actually looks way better than the other side, but it's looking great. This is new. And there's some more new leaves just like scattered around. But this one had a lot of empty stem when I first got it. And a lot of those stems are filling in and you can see there's one hitting me in the head that is slowly filling in. So this plant has been a part of the Dela lore for quite a while. This is the Hoya polynura that was sent to me in a tissue box wrapped in toilet paper. And I got called a Karen for being upset about that. So it is putting out new growth. Look at those beautiful glossy leaves. Look at that new growth. So this is a west window, and I think that they're finally growing because A, they're getting a lot more light, and B, because I'm actually watering them, because they're in a space where I'm going all the time. Like I'm always, you know, at the sink, we're doing our dishes, we're looking out the window. And then what is it to just like put them in the sink and water them? And I've been watering them about once a week. And they've been so happy. These tiny pots dry out so fast. So once a week has been a really great routine for me to keep up with. And then the last plant over here is this Dacia, which is looking really good too. I'd say a little bit slower growing on the new growth, but there is definitely new growth. Like there's a new leaf here, and then I would assume that this is new. So yeah, my Hoya are doing significantly better in this house than they ever did in my old house, which is like great news. I'm going to finish this video by going into my bathroom where I have like 8 more Hoya, and they look so good. I'm really excited that I finally cracked the code, and I'm hoping that I will have big, beautiful Hoya very soon because most of my Hoya are like that size. We're in my bathroom. If you remember the last time we were in here, I was trying to figure out a plant to put on a pulley in here, and I ended up just putting this like really beautiful partly philodendron in a macrame hanger on the hook that I installed. And it's been doing fine so far. Like obviously when it's thirsty, I just water it and I don't have to worry about it like getting on anything because it's directly over the bathtub. So I really haven't had to take it down to water it. I just get the cup, fill it up in the faucet down here, and then just dump over and over again, and that has worked really great for me. It's obviously super happy. This is an east window, which is my favorite kind of window. I love an east window. So we will be fighting with her a little bit for the camera, but it's really gratifying to have a big, beautiful trailing plant. Like I think that that's really what I'm going back to as I reevaluate my relationship with plants is I just want greenery. It doesn't matter to me if the plant is super rare, and I guess I felt this way for a long time, but generally speaking, like this brings me so much joy to have like big, beautiful vining plants over having like the small, tiny, rare plant that needs to be babied, because that's a lot of work. Look at my Calistophylla. This plant still was a lot happier when it was in the greenhouse. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this one still hasn't shown me a ton of growth and change since we've been in this house, but I brought it into this room and I'm hoping that it will help. But I think that this is new. Obviously it looks new because it's small, but this plant really exploded when I brought it out to the greenhouse where it was getting just like so much light. So I'm hoping that this spot will really blast it with light. And what's nice is this is set on a wicker shelf. So like, though it is really, really intense light, it kind of gets diffused a little bit similarly to how, like, you know, those gazebos that have like the wood. And so you're getting a little bit of shade. It's like half of the sun. So that's kind of the situation here. So the plants that are at the very top that are not getting that diffused light are definitely showing signs that they're getting a ton of sun, sometimes too much. I don't remember the name of this one, but I think it starts with a C. It's not doing much either. So yeah, these two, if you have any advice for these specific plants, what is the name of this? It's not a Calistophylla. It is some other ridiculous name that starts with a C, but regardless, it's not growing. I was thinking about, I did cut off a lot of the runners because I know that they will eventually fill in with leaves, but I'm just sick of waiting, so I just cut them off. Some of them were dead anyway, and I'm hoping that that will help redirect growth down here. So we'll see. So not exactly starting off on a positive note, but now it's all uphill from here. This is a Lacunosa silver, and it is finally putting out new growth. I've had this plant for well over a year, possibly 2 at this point, because I think that Adam sent me this like shortly after Nora was born. I don't remember, but these 2 right here, that's new. So it's really not much to show for it, but there's also like a branch off that's happening like down here. I think it's this. Anyway, we finally have some action from the Lacunosa silver. This plant was like one of my favorites that was in the box from him, and it has done the least. And like Adam always talks about how easy Lacunosa is, and I'm like, easy, where is she? This is a Hoya Sunrise, which is 100% benefiting from all of the light. This is one of the Hoya that sun stresses, and you can just see all of the pink in these leaves to indicate how much sun it's getting. It is loving it. I had this on the top shelf, and I was a little worried that it was getting like too much. Clearly there's still a lot of green in here, so like we're fine, but I love how it does kind of look like a sunset. Like it reminds me of a sunset with the pinks and the just like the ombre of it all. I think it's so pretty. This plant has exploded with growth. Like you can see, there's a ton of new growth all over. So that's super exciting, and I'm really, really happy about that. Something that has also helped these plants is I'm watering them. Who knew? I just put them in the bathtub right here, and then I water them, and like if they don't end up back on their shelf immediately, it's not a big deal because they're still getting lots of light, and I'll get to it eventually. They were sitting in the bathtub for like probably 5 days. Probably time to water them again, but I just put them back up so that I could film this. This one is another Lacunosa. I don't know which Lacunosa it is, but I'm gonna bring it up closer so you can see. We've got some tiny new growth. she's doing something. It's exciting. I guess I haven't had the best luck with Lacunosa, but they're at least steady and starting to grow, and I think this one's gonna be super stunning when it actually goes and does something. I'm super excited that something is happening, and I think it really was just the watering, which is, you know, a little sad that I wasn't watering it enough for however long, but hey, we fixed it. This is a Pandorata, and this is probably one of my favorite Hoya, like, ever. I love the shape of these leaves. Like, Adam has a really big one, and I saw it in the window, and I was like, I want a cutting of that. And then he's like, you have that one. So he gave me more cuttings so that I can kind of like bolster this plant because it wasn't growing. But actually recently, all of this is new. I think that this is new right here. And there are several peduncles, like several. I don't think that my camera is going to quite pick it up, but there's one right here. Oh yeah, it's showing it a little. And then there's one like right here. Anyway, if it blooms, I will freak out, but like there's like probably 4 on this plant. So that would be incredible if it bloomed. And once the other part of the plant is done rooting, I will pot it in with this exact same plant. So I'll just have more. This is my variegated obovata, which I've had for a super long time and has always been about this size. And this is one of the ones where I'm like, ooh, it's getting a lot of sun, possibly too much. So I'm thinking about taking it off of this trellis because I don't think it cares about the trellis, but I'm thinking about taking it off of it and then swapping it with possibly this one for the top shelf because I just don't think that it needs as much light as it's getting. Like, it's definitely getting like a little bit of sunburn. Just, you know, it's like, hey, it's a lot of sun. Can we tone it down? So I might make that change. And then this one has made a huge transformation and it's grown quite a bit. It looks super funky. I don't remember the name of this one either. Sorry, I don't know the names of like really any of these, but I do write the names on the screen in like my other Hoya videos. So if it matters that much, or if there's one specifically that you're like, hey, what's the name of this plant? Give me a timestamp and I will find the name for you. I'm sorry. Anyway, this one, look at how gorgeous that silvery color is. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed. And it has a little branch down here. It's looking so cool. I'm actually really excited to see what this plant is going to look like when it's like more of a plant, but right now it just looks like a funny cutting and it's in this cute little pot. All of the pots that these plants are in are so pretty and I'm loving them. But let me show you what it looks like. So it's gonna be super backlit, but you can see that the structure of the shelf kind of obstructs a little bit of light and probably helps favorably for a lot of them. Oh my gosh, look at this. My King Anthurium, number 1, has a bloom that is like full of pollen. I don't know how I can show you that. Okay, there we go. There's a little bit of a better view. It's full of pollen. And I wish that I had another Hoya that would be, or not Hoya, Anthurium that would be compatible with it that I could cross-pollinate. I might save it, but I always end up saving it and never using it. So I don't know, it blooms pretty frequently. So maybe I'll save it, but look, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. It put out this really big, beautiful leaf, which is, I'm actually gonna move this so we can truly see it well. It's so big. I love this leaf. This is probably the biggest leaf it's put out and it's perfect. Like there's no rips or anything in it. The only thing that kind of stinks is it was growing really flat and then I rotated the plant and now it's kind of curling backwards. I think because it was trying to get the sun. So it was like turning, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's not flat anymore. And so I turned it back towards the window to see if that would correct it, but it doesn't seem to have corrected it, which really stinks. But I guess lesson learned, like this spot is a good spot for it, but just don't turn it. And it was like plastered against the window. And I was like, okay, let me like help you. But I guess it wanted that. Like it wanted to be plastered against the window. So I guess, you know, the king gets what the king wants. And we're back to the plant room. Thank you guys for going on a little journey of my houseplants around the house. I am loving, like, to be honest, I am loving my houseplants in this house because there's just so many places to put them. Like I have an east window and a west window, and I do have south windows, but I don't go in those rooms very often, so I haven't put plants in there because I know I'm gonna forget about them. But like east and west windows are incredible and I love them, and this room faces north, and surprisingly enough, my plants are doing pretty well in here. I do still have plans to incorporate like a grow light on the ceiling to face the plant shelves over there, but like everything's doing so well. And I feel like a lot of my issues were water-based issues. Like I just wasn't watering my plants enough, which is like, duh, you gotta water your plants. But since I've incorporated more automated systems like self-watering systems and things like that, and just like put my plants in like more digestible chunks, like 4 plants in the windowsill, and like clearly my bathtub has a lot more plants, but I can just set them in the bathtub and water them so it doesn't feel like that big of a deal. But like in my old house, almost every single plant I owned was in one room. So it was so hard to break up watering days because I just felt like I had to water them all at once, because if I did one half of the room, it was like, well, I might as well do the other half of the room, you know? I don't know. They always ended up being on the same schedule, which was very, very hard to manage. So I feel super good about my plant care. Like even despite working a corporate job now, like I really only can take care of my plants on the weekends. And I think that, have you guys ever heard, I don't remember what the phrase is, I don't remember, but it's like, if you give yourself 5 hours to do something, you will take 5 hours to do it. That is, I'm noticing that in my life a ton. Like now that I started working this corporate job, like I had a lot of time that I was not using well when I was working for myself, which is kind of a sad, like harsh reality to come to terms with. But like you can do so much in a day. And because I was just working with myself and like had to be very self-motivated and like do all my things, I would take a long time to do things sometimes, because it's like, well, I have all day to water my plants, so I guess I'll water all of them and it'll take me all day. I don't know. It's just made me realize that plant care, when you take it in bites, is so much better and so much more sustainable, because I genuinely love my plants so much. Right now, I haven't felt burnt out on them like at all. Whereas normally I would go through phases of feeling burnt out like every couple of months. But since I moved here, I've been like really excited about them to see how they're gonna do in this environment. And I also have ADHD and my brain really likes newness, so maybe it's because it's a new house. But I don't know, I just feel like I'm doing really well with my plants despite not being here 90% of the time. So I don't know, hope that it can be a little bit of an encouragement that like you can have plants, possibly even a large collection, even though you work and like have a life. It's just like setting things up to be automated and choosing plants that are going to fit into that type of lifestyle. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm gonna leave it there for now. So thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video and just being my plant friend and walking around with me while I chat about all the new and fun, exciting things. Again, I want to hear about what your plants are doing in the comments down below, so make sure you leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.